swimmingly. You have almost performed your duties of best man to the letter, excusing, of course, your actions, or should I say, inactions, when it came to organising the stag guest list. Now, as most of you are sadly aware, I managed to own a partial thought of my own to insult half of northwest London when organising my stag. I have no idea why I'm doing this. Sorry. This should have gone out in the first edit. It was a combination of a best man too socially diplomatic to step up to the plate and not wanting 30 of my friends to torture me in Eastern Europe. If it's any consolation to any of you, you didn't miss much. Rose isn't that good at organising stuff. You did miss me stripped completely naked in a children's park and then forced to walk down the Czech equivalent of Oxford Street in basically a chiffon loincloth. Rose, you were the obvious choice for best man. We've been friends since before we could speak, and we're still inseparable. You introduced me to most of my friends, and you've always been a part of my life. Obviously, there was that 10-year hiatus when you got really fat. And then you lost loads of weight, but you wouldn't stop going on about Israel. Thank you for everything, mate, as always. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. I haven't mentioned her on purpose yet. Don't worry yourselves, there will be a part of this speech about Jane, our Filipino maid. It's coming! Okay, seriously, no, we are almost about to talk about Carla. But first, the penultimate segment. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the mother-in-law, Carmen. Carmen, I really don't have enough time left to talk about you. You are a strong and incredible person. I have never met anyone who's had a bad word to say against you. You're an amazing mother to Carla and Ollie. And one day in the distant future, in the severely distant future, like in the coming decades, I know that you will make the perfect grandmother for my children. Thank you for giving birth to the love of my life and then allowing me to marry her. I hope that I'll one day prove to be the ideal son-in-law. I know how much it would have meant for you to have walked Carla down the aisle with Eric by your side today. My speech wouldn't be complete without mentioning the man who had such a huge impact on the lives of so many people in this room. I'm not a particularly spiritual person, but I don't believe that it's possible that he wasn't with us in some way today. Like many others, I wasn't lucky enough to meet Eric. I can only hope that he would have seen how much I love your daughter and approved of me in the same way that you have. Thank you for everything you've done. I love you immensely. 4. Okay, bear with me. And now, last, but never, ever least, the most important person in the room. The reason you're all here, almost certainly the reason I'm still here, my wife, Mrs. Carla Roman, or Gouchy Roman as she's going to be known on Facebook for about 6 months. All right, get comfortable, this is going to take a while. You are the single greatest thing in my life. You have been the single greatest thing in my life for 40% of my life. We bicker and argue with each other like an old married couple, and that's because we are an old married couple. Today we stood under the chuppah and made vows and signed documents, but in truth, I married you nearly 10 years ago. And in what to onlookers would have been brushed off as childish ignorance, I decided that you were the girl for me for the rest of my life, and it looks like I was right. You are clinically insane, I just want to let you know that. Sometimes your lack of sense makes me want to contact the examining body of your degree course and get them to carry out a full investigation, because something's amiss. The Carla-isms that I've collected over the years are too vast to reel out at this point. I'll mention a few, though. The time we were playing Articulate and Carla tried to describe Grace Kelly with, "He's alive!" I think it's fair to say at this point, she's dead, you know. Or that time that she recorded a program for me on Sky Digital because she knew I was so interested in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Surviving Gaza. A 2-hour documentary on alcoholism from the perspective of Cheryl, Paul Gascoigne's ex-wife. Strangely, it's actually formed the majority of my opinions on the Middle East crisis. Or that time she lost a 2-carat diamond engagement ring. That's probably my favourite. And the lack of insurance, that's, you know, icing on the cake. But I suppose that's the good thing about diamonds. When you lose them, you can just buy more because they're so cheap. Carla, these things that you do frustrate me. They drive me to near insanity. They make me contemplate the fact that with the judicial system in this country, if I'd killed you the day I met you, I'd probably be out of prison by now. But amazingly, they make me love you even more. They give you the ability to still make me laugh 10 years down the line, and they give me the confidence that we'll still be laughing for the next 60. This time last year, you took the incredibly brave and honourable decision to convert to Judaism. Now, as I said earlier, I'm not a particularly spiritual person, but I value my Jewish heritage above most things. I see it as an amazing thing that we can now pass on to our children. It was a tough decision to make, and one that I will be eternally grateful to you for. But I suppose, on an occasion like this, with such a diverse guest list, all brought together in the same room for the celebration of love, it makes you realise we're all just people. Some of us are God's chosen people, you know, I don't make the rules. You know, that's not my job. So, Carla, you have loved me unconditionally. You have tried to change me and failed and still put up with me. You have been the one person I've wanted by my side during incredibly happy times and incredibly sad ones. You make me want to say every single cliche that I've ever heard and mean every single one, but I simply can't bring myself to do it. Instead, here is a true story that sounds like a cliche. Because for the last 10 years, with every single blown out candle, with every wishbone, with every loose eyelash, I have wished for the same thing and never spoken a word of it to you in case it didn't come true. But I can tell you now, because my wish came true today when I married you. You have me, hello, you complete me, you're the wind beneath my wings. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And that's the end of the singing. There will be no more singing tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. So that's a wedding speech, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't take me that long, only about 5 hours. I'm pretty knackered. I think I'll go to bed now. Oh, look what I just typed. All that's left to say is, enjoy yourselves. Eat, drink, dance, schwitz, go home, and then come and see us. The Romans, 154 Belsize Road, just off Abbey Road, a stone's throw from the famous recording studio, and that massive council estate. In the leafy suburbs of South Hampstead. That's what the estate agent said to us, but I've lived there for 2 weeks and it's Kilburn. Family, friends, colleagues, plus ones, we love you immensely. Infinity. Enjoy your night, and please be upstanding. Join me in a toast to my bride, my wife, Carla Roman.